Hi, second grade. Mrs. Houts here. Welcome to math class. Today is Friday, September 25th. It's the last Friday of September. Before we begin our new lesson, let's think about what we already know with our base 10 blocks and with our place value. So we know if we have this number 37, that means we have seven ones, and 3 tens. So this week we've been learning about when we add the hundreds place right here. So in our number 247, we have 200 blocks, 4 tens, and 7 ones. Today we are going to complete lesson 2.4, and our big question is, how do you write a 3-digit number that is shown by a set of blocks? So if you haven't already, please take out your math book and turn to page 69. So let's complete the listen and draw box together on page 69. Let's read the directions. Write the number of hundreds, tens, and ones. Then draw a quick picture. Ginger has 243 blue blocks. How many hundreds, tens, and ones are there in this number? So let's start by drawing a quick picture. So we have 2 in the hundreds place. So 2 squares. We have 4 in the tens place. So 4 10 blocks. And then there's 3 in the ones place. So 3 ones blocks. So what's our number? 243. Now let's try the same thing, but we're now going to use the number 423. So we're switching the tens and the hundreds place. Okay, how many hundreds do we have? 4. So we draw 4 squares. They each show 100. How many tens do we have? 2 tens. 1, 2. But this actually equals 20 because we would skip count. 10, 20. And how many ones? We still have 3, same as before. So we switched the hundreds and the tens place. How are these two numbers different now? We now have more hundreds in 423, but we have more tens in 243. What's the same? They both have 3 ones. Go ahead and look at the next page, page 70, the model and draw box. It says, write how many hundreds, tens, and ones there are in the model. What are 2 ways to write the number? So when it says model, it's talking about these base 10 blocks. How many hundreds blocks do we see here? We see 1, 2. So there's 200 blocks. But the way that we would count to see how much total, we would say this is 100 and this is 200. So our 200s, we could also write like this, 200. Now, how many 10 blocks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 10 blocks. Remember, we skip count these by tens to find out how much our total is, how much it's worth or value. 10, 20, 30, 40. So 4 tens is the same thing as 40. And last, we have our ones that we can count out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ones. And that number stays the same. So we not only filled in our place value chart and wrote the number, but right here, we wrote our expanded form when we took the number and stretched it out to show the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place. And that number written in standard form is like this, 247. Let's look at number 1 of the share and show box or section. It also tells us to write how many hundreds, tens, and ones there are in the model, and to write the number in 2 ways. So just like how we just did. So to start, we have 100. And that's the same thing as saying 100 written like this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. And if we were to skip count, what would we get? 60. 6 tens is the same thing as 60. And how many ones do we have? None, so we put 0. So we look at our place value chart, and that helps us to put the numbers together to write it. Our number is 160. And in expanded form, it's 100 plus 60 plus 0. Okay, number 2. Start by looking at our hundreds blocks. 1, we have 2 hundreds blocks. What's another way to say 2 hundreds? 200. And our 10 blocks, we have 1, 2. We have 2 10 blocks. Another way to say that? 20. 2 tens is the same thing as 20. And last, our ones blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones blocks. So if we put this number together, we get 225. And in expanded form, that is 200 plus 20 plus 5. So continue practicing counting your base 10 blocks, writing the numbers in the place value chart, and writing your numbers in expanded form by completing pages P29 and P30 in your practice workbook. Take your time and try your best. If you're confused or have any questions, come to my office hours at 11:45 today. If you want extra practice, you're welcome to do the rest of the lesson in the colored math book that we were using. Thank you, second grade.